Now this is slightly different, okay, and the method which they have shown you in the book is slightly complicated. I am going to use my own method, which will help you to clarify things in an easy way. But in the exam, this type of question, if they ask you, it's going to be slightly tough. Then that means they would not give you such kind of a question generally, okay, because it is a time consuming question. But I would need your attention over here right now, okay. So what is this replicating portfolio logic talking about? Okay, before we go into replicating portfolio, okay, why do we need a replicating portfolio? I'm going to talk about that. Okay, suppose there is bond 1, okay, it has a particular cash flow, okay, and the price of that bond is say 100. Now if you want to understand if this price that you see in the market, if you want to understand arbitrage opportunities, what you will have to do is you will have to create a new portfolio, okay, and this portfolio would be created from different bonds. Let us assume there are bond number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so many bonds, how many bonds that you want, okay, and you have taken 10% of this bond, you have taken 30% of this bond, 2% of this bond, whatever that may be, okay, and you have tried to create a portfolio which exactly matches with the cash flow of the bond 1 exactly, okay, and we are also assuming that the risk is also matching. Risk is also matching with the bond 1. Then in that case, ideally the price of this portfolio should be also equal to 100. But if you realize that the price is actually 105, then you realize that there is an arbitrage opportunity available, because we have created a replicating portfolio. Replicating means exactly the same portfolio as bond 1, so that we can understand if there is an arbitrage opportunity available or not. Okay, that is the main intention. So this question that you are looking at is actually talking about the aim is to understand and create this replicating portfolio. Okay, that is the aim. Okay, I hope everybody is clear on the concept. Why are we doing this? Let us start with the replicating portfolio concept. Okay, now what they have done is they have first given you, if you read this section, they have given you the basic of one bond. They have given you a bond, okay, which is a 2-year coupon bond, $100 face value bond. It's a 10% coupon rate, and obviously it's on a semi-annual basis, because majority of the bond that you see in the US market is semi-annual, okay, and the YTM of the bond is 4.5. okay, what they have done is they've calculated the present value, and the important point that you want to understand is the cash flows. The first cash flow is 5, second, third, and the fourth cash flow is 105. okay, the first cash flow $5 is going to come after 6 months, the second cash flow after 1 year, likewise. Okay, now if you want to identify whether this bond, okay, the price of this bond is given over here 110.42, okay, whatever that price is it cheap or is it smaller or is it higher? Is there an arbitrage opportunity? So what you can do is you can read this part, you can read this section. What they're talking about is they're creating a replicating portfolio. Okay, if this bond, if the replicating portfolio price, I'll just give you an example. If suppose the replicating portfolio price is $112, so we have a bond 1 which is 110, and we have replicating portfolio which is 112. So this bond is cheap. Okay, so you will buy it and you will sell this replicating portfolio, because there is an arbitrage opportunity available, because both the price should ideally be same. Okay, now look at this entire section till here and give me a quick confirmation if you have read this entire part. Okay, one more small thing. I hope everybody has seen that this is actually 2.25. How come this is 4.5 divided by 2? 4.5 was the yield, because this is a semi-annual bond, right? Similarly, this is 10%, which is divided by 2, and hence you're getting 5. Okay, now I want to create a replicating portfolio. How do I create? Okay, suppose I see these 5 bonds in these 4 bonds available in the market, bond number 2, 3, 4, and specifically I've realized that I've got a bond. The first bond is maturing in 6 months, second is in 1 year, like that. Can you see this? Okay. Now, in the exam also, you will get something similar if they ask you. Okay. And they are going to ask you construct a replicating portfolio using these 4 bonds. It's a very simple process. What you have to do is you have to keep in mind that whatever was the cash flow of my bond 1, okay, replicating portfolio should be able to match that cash flow. That is what is needed. Okay. So what we will do is we'll try to first identify the time frame 0.5, 1, 1.5 and 2. Okay. These are the time frames. I'm just writing it over here. Okay. And what all bonds do we have? I'm writing it over here. Bond number 2, bond number 3, bond number 4, and bond number 5. Okay. And the face value of the bond is written over here. This is what I want to find, the face value of the bond. So I'm just creating a table. Now, important point that we should realize over here, that the cash flow that we want to identify, okay, that cash flow should match with the bond 1 cash flow. What was the bond 1 cash flow? Bond 1 cash flow was $5, $5, $5, and 105. This is what I want to match, right? This is what my aim is. Okay. Now, how do I do it? How do I do it? Okay. So first of all, please understand that there is this bond 2, which is basically for 6 months. So this bond will not contribute to your cash flow at time 1, 1.5 and 2. Very simple. This is not going to be there. Very clear. The bond 3 is for 1 year. So it will not add any cash flow on this time, right? Similarly, bond 4 will not add for this because it's a 1.5 year bond. So can we realize by looking at this that if I want to get second year cash flow match exactly with the bond 1 cash flow, okay, the time second year cash flow that should match exactly with the bond 1, then I have only this bond, which is bond 5, which can help me, right? I hope everybody is good till here. Any confusion, kindly put it on chat. Don't worry. Okay. So only 5th bond can help me. Only 5th bond can help me with that cash flow. Okay. But let us go to the table and let us go to the information that we have. The 5th bond, okay, which is going to mature in second year. Okay. Exactly on that second year, how much cash flow it is going to give me? Can we realize that it is going to give me $100 because it's a principal value plus 6% divided by 2. So it is going to give me 103 at second year. Do we realize this point? And I hope everybody has been able to register. Everybody is able to register that the bond 5th is going to give me $103. If I purchase this bond entirely, $103 is what I will get at time 2. Okay, but if I go to the table, I need how much? I need 105. So you have to use this basic formula. Okay, you have to use this basic formula. What is the need and what you're getting? Okay, now this is logical also. Don't worry. This is logical also. How exactly? Okay, so I want $105, but if I pick up this bond entirely, that means if I pick up this bond 100%, okay, then I will only get 103. Divide this, and what is the answer that you are getting? Divide this and get me the answer. Convert it into percentage. Yes, it is going to be 101.941%. Is everybody getting this number? I've converted into percentage. Okay, so what does it mean? Yes, what does it mean? That okay, 101.94. If I purchase this bond for, if that simply means Instead of just purchasing one bond, you'll have to slightly purchase extra also. Why? Because you have to cover 105. But if you purchase only one bond, it is going to only cover for 103. So you will have to purchase 101% of that bond. Once you do it, your cash flow will be 105. So this time frame cash flow is matching. This time for cash flow is matching. But the moment you purchase this 101% of the bond, it will also give you cash flow in between over here. Okay, what is the normal cash flow that you should get? Around $3, because 6% divided by 2, right? $3. So if I multiply this with 101 point something, what is the answer that I'll be getting? Give me the number, guys. And I'm seeing a lot of people are not answering. It's 3.05. What about others? Kindly confirm. 3.058. So do we realize the moment I take this bond, the 5th year bond, so in between the cash flow is not going to be 3%. Why? It's going to be 3.058 because I've got 101%. 3.058. I'm just writing it over here. Now look at this time frame 1.5. Look at this time frame 1.5. How much cash flow was needed? $5. The moment I've got this 5th bond into my portfolio, what is the remaining cash flow? So what you will do is you will take $5 minus 3.058. What is the number that that available point? What is that difference? Yes, give me the difference number. 1.9418. I'm just writing it. So this is the cash flow which I need now. 1.9418. This is the cash flow that I need. Okay, so I've put it in the numerator. But there is only now bond number 4 which is left, which can give me the cash flow. Okay, now let us go to bond number 4 in the table. So bond number 4, when it matures, it is going to give me 5% and also 100, right? Because see, this bond, which is bond number 4, is going to mature at time 105. So at time 1.5. So it will give me what? It is going to give me 100 plus 5% divided by 2. So it is actually going to give me 102.5. Very simple, right? So coming back to this logic, okay, how much I was looking out for? How much did I need? 1.914. But this bond, if I purchase this bond entirely, I'm going to get 102.5. Give me the answer in terms of percentage. If I divide this, what is the answer that I'm going to get? It's a simple mathematics. You have to think it this in this way. How much, if I purchase this entire bond, I will get 102 point something, but I don't need 102 point. I need only $1. So I will have to purchase only 2% of this bond, right? That is 1.89%. Roughly 1.89%. That means the moment I take 1.89% of this bond, then at time 1.5, my cash flow will exactly match this, which is going to be 1.9418, and this will match the $5, and it is going to be perfect. All good till here? Any confusion till here? Give me a quick confirmation on chat. Slightly bigger sum. That's the reason I'm asking a lot of confirmation. Okay, perfect. Now, the moment you got this bond for this bond as 1.89%, you're not purchasing the entire bond. You're only taking 1.89%. So whatever was the cash flow that this bond was going to give you at time 0.5 at time 1 year, what was the normal cash flow? It was 2.5. But now since you've bought the only 1.89%, then you will not get the entire $2.5 income. You will only get 1.89% of 2.5. So you'll have to calculate. What is that number? 1.89% of 2.5. Give me the number. 0.04731, right? This is the 0.04731. Now, look at this cash flow for entire time one. How much amount did you needed? You needed $5. But the moment you got these two bonds, the cash flow is completed by this much amount. So add 3.058 plus 0.04731 and minus it from 5. Then you will realize what is the remaining amount that is needed. What is the amount that is remaining that is needed? Ankit, I have taken 1.89% of 2.5. $2.5 because this is 5% divided by 2. This is the cash flow that you're going to get, right? No, Ankit, it is not going to be 1.9894 same every time. That 1.94 was out of that 102.5. Okay. Can you guys calculate? Add these two numbers, 0.04731 plus 3.058 and minus it from 5. What is the remaining amount that is needed? What is the remaining amount that is needed? Bhargav has given the answer. What about others? Can you guys please cross check? It is around 1.89469. This is the amount which is now needed. 1.89, right? 46. This is the needed amount. But let us go towards this time frame of 1 year. Now only bond 3 can give you that extra cash flow which is needed, 1.89. Let us go to bond 3. If I go to bond 3 will give me what? 100 plus 12 divided by 2, that is 106. So I will go and simply divide this. What is the remaining amount? 106. Give me the answer in terms of percentage. No, Bhargav, I cannot put this amount directly. See, you will have to understand this bond is going to give you, if you purchase this entire bond, the bond will give you 106. You need only $1.89. Okay. So this is 1.78%. Okay. So I'm trying to find this 1.78%. Once I purchase this bond, this amount I will get in time 3. What is this? 1.89. Okay, 1.8964, if I'm not wrong. 46. Once I get this amount, this entire $5 is matched. $5 is matched. But the moment I purchase this bond 3 for 1.78%, this cash flow is also going to be the cash flow 1.78% of the coupon. What is the coupon for the second bond? It is third bond is $6. So I will basically take 6 into 1.78%. What is that number? 1.78%. In terms, okay, it's no, it's not the same amount here. You're multiplying 6 with 1.78%. How can it be same? This is not same. Okay, so we got the number. The number is 0.107. All good. Now, tell me what is the remaining amount that is needed to match the $5. What is the remaining amount? Come on, guys. You'll have to add all 3 and minus from 5. Give me the number. Give me the number. 1.7878. But if I need this 1.7878, which only my first bond can give me, okay, I will have to divide by what is the bond giving me. Okay, so if I look at the first bond, this bond is going to give me what? 103.5, because it is going to mature in 6 months. So at 6 months, it is going to give me that cash flow. So it is going to be like this, 103.5. Give me the answer in terms of percentage. Give me the answer in terms of percentage. 1.72%. 727%. So that means this is the answer. So yes, I hope everybody is able to get the calculation. And I'll just summarize. So what does this column talks about? This column tells me how much of individual bond. So the second bond, you only need 1.72%. The third bond, you need only 1.78%. The fourth bond, 1.89%. Likewise, you need, when you take these bond in this percentages, you will be able to exactly match the cash flow of the original bond one. And hence you are able to create a replicating portfolio. Right? The same calculation or the same logic is explained over here. So they have done their own method, which I have not used. I am directly reached over here. You can cross check 101, 1.89. Okay, so in the exam, if they ask you this question, then they can ask you what percentage of this bond you should hold. If you want to create a replicating portfolio, how much percentage of fifth bond you want to add to that portfolio? That kind of question can come. What percentage of the third bond you have to add? So it's going to be 1.79, like that. Okay. Okay, so this is just the final output of the entire thing. Give me a quick confirmation. Give me a quick confirmation on chat. Perfect. So we have completed the replicating